so they're not anything yet. But I can at least start to see how my simulation is going to work when I toss my ball with my little catapult. Now, I'm going to rewind this. So what I want to do is here at 0, I don't want anything to happen. I don't want the stiffness, because I don't want this to actually happen from the very beginning. I would like this to be at 0 and then play back and let this sit at rest. Let this kind of rest for a while. And then at a different frame, maybe frame 400, I want it to fling my ball forward, and then, you know, I get this really cool, just kind of quick animation of it going flying forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first get an initial state. So I'm just going to rewind my animation, or my simulation rather, play it, and then stop it. Now this is the initial state, or this is how I want my, this is how I kind of want this to start. I want it to start with this lever down and the ball kind of just sitting there. So I'm going to go here to my solver menu and go to initial state, and I'm going to say set for selected. Well, actually set for all dynamics. So let's do it that way. So it'll set it for all the dynamics in my scene. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to come here and select my bricks now, and I'm going to make them all active. And with them still selected and my outliner open, I want to hold down the control key and click on gravity. And I also want to come here and go to fields and say affect selected objects. What that will do is that will make my bricks kind of fall, and you can see my bricks all fell down, so they all like boom. And that one brick right there is actually falling a little bit, and he's kind of sliding off. Kind of makes sense because he's kind of a little broken piece right there. Let's see if we can actually stop him from, or we could just get rid of him. Actually, let's just get rid of him because I don't like the way he's fall. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I don't like the way he's falling, so I'm just gonna get rid of him just so we don't have to worry about him falling like that. So now all my bricks have kind of come to rest. They're all sitting there, they're all rested, and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to go here to solvers, initial state, and say set for all dynamics, so that now when I rewind this, they don't go back up in the air. They're sitting at their initial state, they're resting on each other, and they're just sitting there, and there they are. They're just kind of sitting there. There's a little bit of flutter in them. They're fluttering a little bit. If you're having things where they're kind of sliding around like that, one thing that you can do, and you'll have to do this for each one of your individual blocks, is that you can turn their bounciness down to 0 and make them not bouncy at all. And then you can also turn their static friction up a little bit so that they kind of stick together a little bit better, and leave them that way. So that way they're not sliding around as much. So I wish you could kind of do this and do it for all of them, but I don't think that works. Nope. So you got to do these guys individually, which kind of is a bummer. But, and I'm not going to do all of them. I just did a couple of them. So just so that you can, you know, have these and be able to set these, but just know you're going to have to make sure that your bounciness and friction are a little bit higher so that they don't move. And I probably want to set the friction higher for the ones on the bottom, because they're the ones that seem to be giving the most problem, because they're kind of trapped underneath all the other bricks. So I will change this for these guys here. And boom, and boom, and boom. So just to know, there's no quick way to get through it. You've got to just actually turn that off for all of them. Now, something that I was looking at a little bit earlier is that with my stiffness right here, if I put this back up to 20 and then rewind this and then play it, you can see my simulation's actually working, but it's working really slow. This is normal. Your simulation is going to go really slow unless you're caching out your simulation, and we'll talk about how to cache this out and a little bit. So it's going to hit, and then it's going to kind of boom, almost breaks through. Doesn't have enough power to break through. So I will turn up the power of this a little bit, and then let's play it back again. Let's see. There it goes. It fires it. Probably too high now. Yep, it's way too high. So I'm going to put this maybe at 25. And what I'm going to do on my ball is I'm going to click my ball, and I'm going to turn the mass of my ball up to maybe not that high. Let's say maybe 10. And then let's see what's happening now. So you can see now my ball is a lot heavier. So my brick, or my ball rather, is a lot heavier. So the spring being only at 25 doesn't have enough power to pick it up. So let's try it at 45. Now these numbers are going to be from you actually working with this and playing with it. There's no default numbers that you can put in and know how heavy things are going to work. So I'm going to go up to 100. You can see there it goes. It's picking it up now. And my spring's got stiffness in it. And it's not quite enough. Let's give it some more oomph. So let's say like 150. It's a really stiff spring. So it pulls it really quick. So kind of pulls it, flies. Nice trajectory on that. I kind of like how that's going. So this should like bust through our wall. Yep, it does. It breaks through our wall, knocks down our pieces, and kind of breaks through it. And I like that. It knocks out like these guys right here, and like that guy in the center right there. So I'm actually going to give my spring more power. Let's give it like 200. Might be too much, but we'll see. My ball is actually quite heavy. It's got a mass of 20 on it, so it's not that light of a cannonball or whatever we're gonna. That looks like it. That looks perfect right there. So boom. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's just nice destruction right there. My pieces slide off each other. They kind of fall down, and they do their little thing, and that's kind of it. So I actually do like that. I like the way that is kind of simulating right now. So what I want to do is I'm going to take this back to 0. And here at frame 1, I'm going to right click on my spring stiffness, and I'm going to set a key. And then right at frame, let's say 100 or so. I don't want to do that. Gets really slow because I'm working with this. So right at frame 121, I'm going to set a new keyframe. I'm going to put 200 in right there, and I'm going to do make sure we come here and just set key. So that's there. So I could grab this key right here. So let's say between 90. I'm going to go back and I'm set this key to 0 right here. So now I've got a hold frame. I've got a hold from 0 to 90, and then from 90 to 120, it's going to fire off my my thing. So it's going to sit there, and you can see simulation's just sitting there, it's just sitting there. And then right at frame 90, it should activate my spring. There you go. You can see, boo! Now my spring is active, and the rest of my simulation will actually play out. So what we've done, we've actually made a simulation that uses keys, and it's using the dynamic system inside of Maya. So right now I've got this kind of blowing through my wall, which is pretty awesome. Now I want to cache this out. So to cache this, only thing I want to do is come here and go to my solver, and you can say memory caching, and I want to say enable memory caching. And so this will cache enabled for all rigid bodies. So I'm going to rewind this